Speaking personally on my West Indian heritage, I think it opens my mind up even more to my Canadian side. So I don't really think one takes precedence over the other as far as that goes.
Definitely.
If I could chime in too, and I agree with you, definitely that's a Toronto experience, the whole big West Indian influence, and you see it with the MCs, and then you see it actually just if you grew up in those communities. Me being an anomaly in the sense that I grew up around mostly West Indians, and then me being Latino, Panamanian, and Colombian to be specific, I was really heavily influenced by that scene, just growing up amongst all my friends being there, being from, Metro Housing Project and just growing up in that environment. And, I think me being the lone Latin kid in the group, I was, represented my culture to the fullest. And I used to be the only, Latino guy in the all, black party, hip hop party back in the day, you know what I mean? And so I know what it is coming in as an outsider, but now I see the 360. It's like you do these, quote unquote, all pure hip hop parties or whatever, like real hip hop parties, and the whole scene has changed. Like it's mostly white kids and Asian kids, you know what I mean? And it's a total 360 from when I was, growing up, coming up in that scene. But I definitely feel a strong link to my culture, and I see the similarities between West Indian culture and Latin culture. I mean, what you guys call rice and peas, we call arroz y frijoles. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's just different names for things. Plantain, plátano. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So and I'm gonna instill that in my son. You know what I mean? Because he's half Panamanian, half Colombian, and half Bayesian. So he's gonna be, he's gonna have all those cultures. Because I think part of being Canadian is being proud of if you're an immigrant from where you come from. You know what I mean? And it's real important. When you go to the States, you're American first. You know what I mean? In Canada, you're allowed to keep your culture in a sense.
Talking to a panel of hip-hop connoisseurs and contributors to Richer Than Hip-Hop. Canada's getting colder. After the commercial break, we're going to come back and we're going to talk to the panelists about their choices in hip-hop and how it's reflective in their households and things of that nature. And then we're going to hear a set from DJ Grouch, an all-Canadian set right here inside CHRY 105.5. After commercial break, we'll come back with more of Richer Than Music on CHRY 105.5.
This is Richer Than Music.
Yo, this is Ludacris, and you listening to CHRY 105.5 FM. It gets no better.
Richer Than Music.
Back inside CHRY 105.5. Thank you for everybody who's been tuning in across the Toronto area at CHRY 105.5 FM, as well as streaming online at www.toflow.com and www.legionmnm.com for everybody who's calling in asking exactly how to get to those streams. You can also check us out across Southern Ontario on Rogers Digital Cable Channel 945. This is a documentary coverage of Canadian hip-hop culture and its impact on Canadiana, and we're talking to an esteemed guest of panelists right now who heritage has been influenced wholly by, or not wholly, but largely by Canadian rap hip-hop culture. Being born and bred in Canada, a lot of people would think that, it's hockey, it's rock and roll, it's whatever. One of the questions that I have for the panelists is, how would you qualify the impact that hip-hop has had on your friends and your households beyond your own individual experiences?
Well, for me, I have to say that it's had a huge impact with not only me, but with my friends as well. Just even in terms of just following the music, and even many of my friends now are artists, rappers, producers, DJs as well. And you can see how they live their whole life around the culture and the whole the music as well. So for me, I have to say it has a huge impact, just in even in terms of their career choices as well too. I mean, this one friend of mine, he actually went to UFT, graduated, got his BA, but he stopped, and now he actually is a full-time rapper. Is that one thing that he wants to do? So, so I don't know if it's the best choice for him, but that's his choice, right? So
he's always got something to fall back on, right?
Exactly.
For our other panelists, is hip hop culture evident in your life outside of your own personal experiences? like with your families or friends?
Absolutely. I think it's just permeated its way into every aspect of culture. I think now they're starting to use it in schools to kind of maintain people's interests who might otherwise, lose interest and kind of go astray. They're trying to use it like, if you know, stuff like the remix projects and stuff like that. Like, they're actually using hip hop or the culture or the dynamics and the business side of it to give people things to ponder other than just, street life or things like that. I think if you watch TV and you see the way they incorporate hip hop, and I'm speaking more from a local Canadian perspective, it's just almost everywhere, like visually, audibly, you could just touch and feel it, most definitely.
Yeah, I know, like, back in the day, like, I could say, like, Dwayne Morgan, he had his workshops at Central Neighborhood House, and for us, all us Rugrats, he would corral us together and actually have us sit down and actually talk about poetry and rap. No one cared to listen, but, like, being grown now, I can actually look at Dwayne and, see how even his belief, it wasn't considered hip-hop or urban back then, but just his whole belief in us to, like, use his talent to discipline us so that we could better ourselves and make better decisions. So, I mean, that was monumental in my experience, and I'm happy to see that, he's still doing his work in the community. And I'm a true testament to that if you have that person in your life that can make that impact, based on his interests at the time, that it really did result in a positive manner. So I think that for me too, like, and you see, like, when we have our kids at the house, they're partying and they're dancing and doing this dip it low and all this kind of thing, like, it's just, honestly, it's an amazing thing. And, going down to the second generation, it's like a big movement. So
Definitely. Hip-hop in Canada has moved beyond the limits of ethnicity. With a rich history spanning well over 2 decades, the genre now enjoys a story and appeal that inspires Canadians to experience its potential in a variety of ways. The culture lends itself to stories of empowerment, determination, and cunning needed to succeed and strive in the face of adversity or alienation. It's these traits in Canadian hip-hop that pushes consumers to become female pioneers in male-dominated industries, that offer outsiders a welcoming hand, are artistic creative ways to express themselves through various mediums. Oddly enough, these traits are not singular to just hip-hop. They actually are reflective of the best parts of our colonial Canadian heritage. You can find Canada in hip-hop, and in hip-hop, you can review over 20 years of stories that reflect its view on Canada and the Canadian experience. Families, friends, colleagues across the country can piece together commonalities influenced by the hip-hop culture, dating back to when Maestro taught us to let our backbone slide, or when Kanon joined hands around the world to wave a flag. Through hip-hop, you can share a Canadian story that states, I was there when. Inside the next segment, we'll take a look at these common threads across the country and discuss how and where Canadian hip-hop needs to build with our esteemed panel. But first, we're going to take a special look at an all-Canadian content mix set blended by none other than renowned turntablist DJ Grouch, right here on CHRY 105.5. If you're anywhere close to a computer, you might want to check out the live stream on www.toflow.com or www.legionmnm.com.
You're enjoying a stellar mix of Canadian hip-hop by world champion turntablist DJ Grouch.